Hello, hope you're ready for chapter 7 of my Great Granny Moo, Off to Auntie Dotty's. The following morning when I wake, Granny Moo is already buzzing about the kitchen, putting things into overnight bags and checking her handbag for the 25th time, making sure she's got her house keys, reading glasses and special tablets that she gets from the doctor. I pull myself lazily off the sofa and struggle into my clothes. Just at that moment, Dad knocks at the front door. "Morning, ladies, ready for the off?" he calls and walks through into the lounge. Granny Moo smiles and pulls on her multicoloured cape, of which she is so fond, checking in her handbag for the 26th time. Dad picks up the bags and Granny and I follow him out of the flat to the car. I climb into the back, not fully awake and wondering what time breakfast will be. Dad and Granny Moo chatter in the front seats about this and that as we drive to the station so that my Gran can catch her train to take her to Auntie Dotty's house. When we arrive, my Gran reaches over to the back seat to kiss me goodbye. "See you soon, Molly Moo. I'll be back tomorrow tea time," she smiles. And I'm sure she mutters something under her breath like, "all being well," but I don't quite hear her. I'm just about to ask what she means when Dad appears at Gran's side of the car, opening her door to help her out. "Come on, Trouble," he laughs. "You'll miss your train." "Me? Trouble?" Granny Moo smiles. "You cheeky man. I don't know what you mean." Granny Moo gets out of the car and blows me a kiss as she walks off in the direction of the station entrance. Dad climbs back into the driver's seat and we head for home. I'm still pondering if I heard Gran right, and not for the first time lately, I do think there's something going on, something I can't quite put my finger on. My thoughts are interrupted by Dad's voice. "Hungry, Molly Moo?" he asks. "Reckon you could manage a Dave's special?" And suddenly I put my worries about Gran to the back of my mind and nod my head enthusiastically at my dad. Dave is the fat jolly man who runs a tea truck from a lay-by on the main road that runs into town and is directly on our route to and from the station. Me and my dad often take a sneaky visit to Dave's diner, as it is affectionately known, after dropping Gran off and when Mum isn't with us, so we can enjoy one of Dave's special breakfast sandwiches. Mum says Dave's sandwiches are a health hazard, but me and my dad love them. 2 thick slices of crusty white bread, filled with 1 fried egg, 2 rashers of crispy fried bacon, dripping with grease and smothered in tomato ketchup, and all washed down with a steaming hot cup of tea with 2 sugars. Delicious! We chomp and slobber our way through our sneaky breakfast, pausing occasionally to give each other a conspiratorial smile. We don't speak, our mouths are just too full. After breakfast, Dad hands me a serviette to wipe the evidence from my face before we get home, although I'm pretty sure Mum will rumble us before we've even got through the front door. It's weird how mums just seem to know stuff without them even having to ask, isn't it? I wipe the egg and ketchup from my face and stuff the serviette back into my pocket before climbing back into the car. I'm so full that I can hardly move, and I'm grateful for a sit down and a chill out. Dad turns on the radio and finds some weird golden oldie dad type station and starts singing along, not very tunefully and very loudly, to some song that I've never heard before. I reach into my pocket to retrieve my serviette from earlier to give my mouth one last wipe, and I'm surprised when a crumpled piece of paper tumbles out with it. I pick up the paper and reckon it's probably just some receipt from the shop when I went to buy milk for Mum the other day, but as I glance a little more closely at the paper, I realise that it's pale pink. I know for a fact that the receipts from the local shop are not printed on pink paper, and so I uncrumple the paper with growing curiosity. On the paper in neat writing is a set of numbers and a weird string of letters. The numbers appear to be written as some form of code with a dash between them, and the letters are random and mean nothing to me. The writing reads 06-05-13AWOL. I am increasingly puzzled at the stray piece of paper in my pocket and know for sure that I did not put it in there. I don't know why, but I have a real sense that something bad is about to happen. I can't quite put my finger on it. Something just doesn't feel right. I put the paper carefully back in my pocket, desperate not to lose it, and more convinced than ever that Granny Moo is behind this. I'm pretty sure it's the same type of paper that Granny Moo has beside the telephone in her flat. A little cream-coloured box decorated with pink roses and containing squares of pale pink paper always sits beside the phone, and Granny Moo uses them for writing messages when people call. Yes, I am sure the crumpled piece of paper in my pocket is the same shape and colour as those little notelets, and now I'm increasingly sure that Granny Moo put that piece of paper in my pocket. But why? She's obviously trying to tell me something. She obviously wanted only me to find the message, but why has she written it in a code that I can't understand? And what on earth is she trying to tell me? I become increasingly uneasy and cannot shake my feeling of impending danger. I do hope she's safe, but then she's only off to Auntie Dotty's. She can't come to any harm there, surely. A nagging voice at the back of my mind seems to goad me with the words, an auntie you've never met, a mysterious auntie who no one ever seems to meet. I try to ignore the voice niggling away at me and sit back in my seat, desperately trying to reassure myself that everything is fine, that I'm just being silly, and Gran will be back in no time to explain. Maybe it's just a telephone number that she put in my coat pocket by mistake. Yes, that's it. Don't be daft, Molly Moo. She'll be back in no time, and no doubt she'll be telling you what a worrier you are. You're quiet, Molly. Still full up? Dad's voice interrupts my thoughts, and I smile at him in the rearview mirror. Just a bit, I say quietly, and stare out of the window, determined to shake off my worries. When we arrive home, I jump out of the car and race Dad to the front door. It's a little game we like to play. I ring the doorbell frantically while he tries to wrestle me out of the way to open the door with his key. We like to see whether Mum will open the door before he manages to unlock it. As usual, I win. I'm pretty sure Mum hears our car coming up the road before we ever reach the door, and, as usual, Mum shakes her head and rolls her eyes at us in exasperation. I give Dad the loser sign, and he starts to tickle me. Will you two behave, says Mum in a pretend cross voice and with a smile on her face, and you can go and wipe that egg off your face, young lady. I look at Dad and we raise our eyebrows in a kind of, how on earth did she know that sort of a way? I go upstairs to wash my face and take the piece of paper out of my pocket. I go into my bedroom and place the paper under my pillow next to the small silver key that is still lying there. As I do so, I wonder once again what kind of message Granny Moo is trying to send me and make up my mind to ask her straight out when she returns from Auntie Dotty's. Next time it's chapter 8, Gran on the telephone.